This is iFIBER 1 News. Here are today's top stories.
A new FDA decision means Washington wine and beer crops don't have to meet federal standards for produce safety.
A Warden woman was sentenced to community service for interfering with a police pursuit involving her son last year.
After dropping the opening game of their BCHL Interior Division Finals Series with the Vernon Vipers on Saturday night, the Wenatchee Wild were angling to even things up at the Town Toyota Center on Sunday evening.
The Moses Lake Chiefs baseball team was finally able to have their first home games of the season when the Eastmont Wildcats came to town.
From the iFIBER 1 newsroom, this is iFIBER 1 News. And it starts now.
A new FDA decision means Washington wine and beer crops don't have to meet federal standards for produce safety. The U.S. Produce Safety Rule includes quality testing for irrigation water, limits on manure and compost fertilizers, and health training for farm workers. The FDA decision, announced last week, means grape growers no longer have to abide by those conditions, which should save time and money. It's a step the wine industry has been seeking for years, saying wine grapes are far less likely than other farm products to introduce contaminants or illness into the food supply. Ditto for hops, which, like grapes, are processed and fermented into an alcoholic beverage. There are more than 350 wine grape producers in Washington, which last year harvested about 230,000 tons on 55,000 acres. Washington's 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse, who's a hop farmer himself in the Yakima Valley, praised the decision, calling it welcome news for farm country. Jefferson Robbins, iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by...
Change doesn't have to be complicated. With a low-profile microwave hood combination that's ready to install right out of the box. It fits in the same space as your under-cabinet hood, so you can get your microwave off the countertop and make space for the routines worth keeping. The low-profile microwave hood combination, from the #1 selling appliance brand in the USA.
Whirlpool Appliances, now available at more furniture in Ephrata.
A Warden woman was sentenced to community service for interfering with a police pursuit involving her son last year. April Mora pleaded guilty to rendering criminal assistance in the second degree, with a charge of obstructing law enforcement dismissed by prosecutors. Mora was sentenced to 90 days in jail, with 60 days suspended for 2 years. The remaining 30 days were converted into 240 hours of community service. U.S. Marshals and Moses Lake Police were in pursuit of Michael Castoreno on June 5th. Castoreno, wanted at the time on outstanding felony warrants, reportedly led police on a pursuit that started in Moses Lake and eventually ended in Warden. As officers were in pursuit of Castoreno through Warden, video released by Moses Lake Police shows a blue SUV driven by Mora enter the road in the middle of the chase. As Castoreno reportedly took off on foot, the blue SUV is seen again in police video cutting into the pursuit. Moses Lake Police say an officer believed Mora's SUV was going to hit his vehicle as Mora drove toward the patrol car. The officer stopped his car and Mora came to a stop just a few feet in front of the patrol car. Mora told police her son had called her during the pursuit and that she told him to continue driving to a relative's home. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by...
Your taste buds bored? Well, then bring them to Jay's Teriyaki. Not only does Jay's have a variety of teriyaki dishes, they also offer mouth-watering salads and sides. Call Jay's 509-764-5155. Jay's Teriyaki, located at 123 East Broadway in Moses Lake, because it's all in the sauce.
After dropping the opening game of their BCHL Interior Division Finals Series with the Vernon Vipers on Saturday night, the Wenatchee Wild were angling to even things up at the Town Toyota Center on Sunday evening before hitting the road for Games 3 and 4 of the best-of-7 set this week in British Columbia. The contest's opening frame proved scoreless, and things stayed that way until 6:31 into the second period, when Wenatchee broke the scoring ice on defenseman Jacob Modry's third postseason goal, which gave the Wild a 1-0 advantage. Wenatchee held that straight-digit margin well into the final stanza before adding a valuable cushion marker on the power play at 10:31, with centerman Matt Gasiewski's fourth playoff tally and an empty netter to put things away later on at 18:10 from centerman P.J. Fletcher on his 8th goal of the season, which put the finishing touches on an important 3-0 victory for Wenatchee. Wild netminder Austin Park proved to be the biggest mongoose against the Vipers in Game 2, as he rebounded from a less than impressive start in Game 1 of the series when he was yanked in favor of backup Cal Sandkist after less than 12 minutes in the crease to notch his 4th career postseason shutout by turning aside all 26 Vernon shots. Park's effort helped Wenatchee to a win in spite of the fact that the Wild were outshot for the second straight game and held their lowest shot count in 73 total games this season with only 16. Wenatchee went 1 for 3 on the power play and were 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. The Wild's win tied the series at 1-1 before it shifts northward to the Cal Tire Place in Vernon for games 3 and 4 on Tuesday and Wednesday this week. Reporting for iFIBER 1 Sports, I'm Chris Hansen.
The Moses Lake Chiefs baseball team was finally able to have their first home games of the season when the Eastmont Wildcats came to town. The Chiefs were coming off of a loss against the Wildcats in Eastmont on Tuesday, and they needed to sweep the Wildcats in Friday's doubleheader to take the 3-game series. The first game between these two teams was a low-scoring affair. The Chiefs were able to put up 2 runs in the second inning, and that was all the points anyone scored the entire contest. The Chiefs held on for the win to the 0 to even up the series. With the final game on the line, both teams needed a win, and the Chiefs were able to score 2 runs in the second again, but then they went on to score 3 more runs between the 3rd and 4th innings to take a solid lead. Moses Lake piled on 3 more runs in the bottom of the 6th to make the game 8-0, which is what the final score was. The Chiefs took the series 2-1, winning their second conference series of the season. In the second game, junior Dax Lindgren pitched a no-hitter through 5 innings before being relieved by Gabe Passy, who finished the no-hitter Lindgren started.
We practiced really hard, and we turned it up here, started practicing here, turned that up, and we came ready to play today.
The Chiefs advanced to 5-2 in the year and 4-1 in conference play. They will next play on Monday when they host West Valley of Yakima in a single game. I'm Adam Chikoski for iFIBER 1 Sports.
This is iFIBER 1 News. For more information on these stories and other news, visit us online at iFiber1.com or check us out on Facebook.